Hello, welcome to To Be Human podcast, episode 30 on patience. So, today I want to talk about being patient, waiting for things, or waiting for, stuff to happen, or I don't know, just, you know, the concept of patience because I feel like it's something people lack these days, because things happen so fast that things are constantly moving, things are constantly happening, that it means that as people we've become less patient, like we want things to happen immediately, like I want this thing to come now and happen now and I need it because we're moving in a time where things seem to move quickly, so we've become impatient. And I think today I guess I want to have like a lesson in, I guess, patience, because even I at times can be like, damn, I really want this thing to happen, and like become impatient for it. And like there's sort of like stages of like uh patience, like the the first stage is where your patience is high and like you can wait for whatever it is. You can wait for whatever it is. Like you don't immediately want it. Like which sometimes that step gets skipped these days, but you're fine waiting. Then there's like the antsy stage where you start to be more like, oh, I kind of want this now. Is it coming? Is it coming? Like, starting to get a bit antsy. And then there's like stage 3 where it's like full on, no longer just being antsy about it, but like full on wanting it. Where it's like, I need it. I need this thing to happen because my mind has decided that currently this is the most important thing to happen. And then there's occasionally a stage 4 where it takes so long that you just inevitably forget about the thing and inevitably become patient sort of again, because once you're past impatient, see, like if you've been waiting a long time during that impatiency stage, like if it never seems like it's going to come out, like eventually you're like, well, I give up on the thing. I guess it's probably never coming out, and then it suddenly comes out when you least expect it. And it's like, oh wow, it's finally out. That was kind of me with the Stanley Parable like Ultra Deluxe. I went through the stages because I was very much a fan of the original, and then Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe got delayed so many times I inevitably kind of forgot that was happening, and by the time I learned about it again, it was like getting closer to the release date, and it was like, oh, Ultra Deluxe is actually happening. it's actually happening after all this time. Kind of similar case with Henry Stickmin, because I remember playing the Flash games. I was like, oh, I wonder when the next one will come out, and sort of wanted and waited for it, and then eventually forgot it. And by the time I came back to Henry Stickmin, like, it was like, I think I found out about completing the mission like a month before release. Like, it was just that close, and I was like, I remember Henry Stickmin, and it was kind of a surprise. Like, when I saw completing the mission at first, I was like, wait, is this like some kind of like joke fake trailer? Because probably because of like the Valve fake trailers were probably something I had seen around the time, like the fake like Porphyry, fake Half-Life 3 stuff. It was like, wait, is this real? And then it's like, oh, completing the mission is real and very much coming out. And yeah, because I sort of, rediscovered, Puffball's YouTube channel. Also, my first glimpses of Among Us before it would inevitably get popular later in the year. Like, what's this Among Us thing? Oh, it looks kind of cool. Maybe I'll play it eventually, I don't know. Looks like a game for friends, and I don't really have that because, yeah, again, at the time it was mid 2020, so I hadn't even played up VR chat yet. But yeah, it's kind of weird that sometimes things happen all of a sudden. Like, you wait so long for something, then you forget about it, so, and then by the time you remember, it's like the thing is like only a month away or like a few months away. Like, I think the true announcement thing was very late into December of 2021 for the Stanley Parable. It came out in 2022, right? Yeah, I think so. Which seems bizarre to me now because it felt like it came out in 2023, but I think it came out in 2022. Let me actually double check. Yeah, 2022. That's weird. I waited so long for Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe from like its announcement that it felt like it released in 2023, but it was 2022. Weird. But yeah. Sometimes things just come out of the blue, because there's different stages of being a patient. But I think I spoke a little bit too much on that, how things suddenly, appear out of the blue. Let's get back to the main thing, even if for once this was a somewhat relevant tangent, being patients. So, how can one gain more patience? Well, that's kind of a hard thing, and I guess it would depend on the person because some people will be more impulsive and impatient than others. I can be patient at times, but also impatient at others, depending on what it is. Usually these days, because it feels like everything takes a really long time, especially after like COVID, which delayed a bunch of stuff. It very much feels like things come out slowly now, so I think COVID overall improved my patience things because I never expect things to really appear till they're ready. But then again, I can be a little bit impatient, want things to happen. Right now, I guess the thing that's most impatient about is probably like stuff that's relevant to like my story, games and stuff and maps and stuff that I might want to do for my story. I'm kind of impatient for the next Alan Wake 2 DLC, the second one, because that'll be critical to my story. Michael and Alan's world are very much twisted together. And then I guess Noir Remembrance, but yeah, again, I kind of completed Noir's plotline on my own just because I had lost patience for when the next map is going to come out, and it feels like it's never going to happen. But then again, it could suddenly come out like this October, and I won't even know because this information usually isn't like fully known. Like usually VR chat maps just come out when they come out. There's no way to predict when a map will be done. So I am hoping it'll happen, but I haven't got my fingers crossed. So at least I've ended the story arc of Noir for now till eventually maybe it'll happen, but I don't have my fingers crossed. But yeah, it's mainly stuff that's critical to my story. It's a shame that I'm probably going to have to wait a lot longer for certain things like the next Timer game, the next Control game, the next Alan Wake game, because it's probably not going to conclude in a DLC. Because it'd be kind of weird if the story ended in a DLC. Be kind of odd to end it with the DLC. Like, that not everyone would have purchased and be a critical part of completing the story. But then again, the original Alan Wake had DLC as well, and it was kind of a critical part of seeing the dark place in the first like instance of like Mr. Scratch. So like I guess we'll see, but somehow I feel like it's going to be ended with Alan Wake 3, not 2. Yeah, again, departure, initiation, return, and even though returns technically in Alan Wake 2, it just doesn't feel like it's going to be the full end of things. It feels like it's going to be a trilogy because that sort of makes sense, story wise. Yeah, again, Alan's always about the story, but I'm getting a bit sidetracked now, and in general, I have a lack of patience for things that I kind of need for my stuff to move smoothly. So my current impatience is kind of impatience with purpose. I'm only impatient for it technically because it's kind of critical for things to move forward, and if my story is not moving forward, it feels like I'm not really doing that much. I'm trying to compensate by doing other things, but Michael has done like everything at this point. It's like he has been to many multiverses, like fought gods, demons, damn devils, anomalies, oddities, ghosts, darkness, the living light, so many things beyond human comprehension that, like, it's so much. But yeah, Michael is just as something else at this point, and it really leaves me with not many ideas. I mean, I still have a list of games I want to never do, but other than that, there's not much story stuff. And I want the story to still semi be moving forward, especially since now I'm only doing like 2 dedicated Michael episodes a week. It's kind of critical that since I'm doing a lot less Michael than I used to, I still keep the story going on somehow. Like, still make it feel like there's stakes. But honestly, Michael has beaten a lot of his major battles, and a lot of his major battles to come are trapped by the essence of time, and literally force me to have to be sort of patient because I put such a great deal of importance on certain things that I've kind of screwed myself over. So yeah. So I guess I have to be patient because as in my early days I was impatient. Always wanting to do things immediately, but now I have nothing left to really do. That I've kind of screwed myself over in the long run. But yeah, so yeah. But I'm getting sidetracked a bit too much again. But let's get back to ways of more patience for, I guess, you. I guess it'd be down to me and you. Everyone's different. So honestly, I don't have too many tips. For me, I've just naturally become more patient because of how the last few years have went. So it's usually just impatiency for things I kind of feel that are critical to myself. But for you, it could be entirely different. Could be impatient for more of the regular stuff, like games, but I'm kind of forcibly patient about games and all that because, yeah, again, I'm poor, I have no money, so it has to be a long time before I can buy stuff. And yeah. But yes, hopefully I can have a job eventually. Still searching. It's been months and months and months. Like, at this point I've been volunteering for like 7 months because it's August now, so January to August, yeah, it's been 7 months. So yeah, it's kind of crazy, but yeah, yes, just try and be more patient, more patience, have more patience. Uh, um, goddamn, but you know what I mean. Patience is a virtue, or whatever the saying is, and if you can be more patient, well then that means you can enjoy the thing once it's actually there, and enjoy it hopefully in all its aspects until you're done with whatever it is. And then be patient for whatever the next thing is. And it's not like there's only going to be one thing you're waiting for. There could be multiple things. And that way, hopefully, one of those things will come out like one after another so that you never feel like you're truly waiting, because that's kind of how I roll, just moving from one thing to the next. I mean, it's how things have rolled for me for a long time. It's the easiest way to make myself more patient, that I just keep moving on to whatever's next. Do whatever's next, and it keeps my mind distracted till the next thing, and then the next, and so on and so forth. That time has passed, that I get to what I really want to do or really want to see sooner, in a way, just by moving from one thing to the next. Yes, that's how I've been patient. But yeah, again, it could be totally different for you. But yeah, either way, I think in general it's just more patience is needed for the world and could be good. But I think this will be probably the end of this podcast episode. Not much else to say then. I feel like patience is needed, patience is crucial, and yeah, because I feel like if more people with patience, then maybe people could stop and think for a second instead of always being like, I want this thing, and not see, whatever consequences may before the rapid need for us to always be moving, always be moving without proper thought, and I don't know, because I guess it just ties into a larger issue of just the speed of humanity, the fact that we don't stop and think and just hold up a second, be patient, just adds on to, you know, things just, I guess, generally being bad or whatever. But yeah, either way, yeah, I think that'll be it though for this podcast episode. So yeah, thank you all for watching this episode, and yeah, until the next one, peace, and yeah, just be more patient. Yeah. Anyway, peace, thank you, and goodbye for this episode.